Alright, y'all. This one's going to be a little weird for me because I don't normally do these long Met sessions, but it's the G coming at you with a metronome session. I believe it's number 41. And I thought I might take this chance to explain the metronome sessions a little more and what I actually do, what I'm actually trying to do. That's my dog drinking his water over there. So with the metronome sessions, what I'm trying to do is use the Dr. beat here to sort of as a band member kind of thing. When you're not gigging and you're not in a band and you don't have really any objective like me, but chilling on the kit and having fun with it, it sometimes gets a little lonely. So what I do is I turn the Met on, and I like to sort of treat that as like an extra little rhythm session going on that I am playing to, right? And I know it helps me with timing and it helps me with subdivision and all those things, but the best part about it to me is it sounds like somebody that I'm jamming with, right? And you'll notice that if you're a subscriber to my channel, and I hope everyone watching this is, you'll see that I like to sort of use the metronome as a guide, sort of like someone scatting almost, and I like to weave in and out of the metrics that the metronome is giving me. So I want to take this video to sort of explain how my mind works when I hear the metronome and what it's producing on the kit therein. So let's start really slow with, I don't know, 80 beats per minute with 16th notes on. I don't know if it's even going to focus on that, but it doesn't really matter. You guys can hear it. 80 beats with 16th notes. Now, I got this really high quarter note turned on. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you're going to play a basic beat to that, you would just do a basic 8th note groove on the hi-hat with bass and snare. Now, what I do here is I like to get down and listen to the E and on this. E and E and Listen to the subdivision on the metronome and create things down in there and ignore the quarter note. Right? Let's try it. You start listening to those inner beats and playing things to that are in other time signatures. So what you can do is get down into the roots of those inner beats and just sort of ride on that wave. At first, if you're going to try this, at first you just ignore the quarter notes altogether and do whatever you want. After you've been doing that for a time, you start hearing the quarter notes in there and reacting to them. So the goal here for me when I'm listening to the metronome and I'm like jamming with it, and what has unlocked a lot of beats for me with the metronome sessions is to sort of flex in and out of that straight 4/4. Go into like 7/8, go into 5/8, and divide even further and get into 16th notes and 32nd notes, and depend on 32nd notes, and depending on the tempo, even 64ths, right? So let's stick with 80 and mess around a little bit on this metronome. Pretend this is someone jamming on another drum next to you. So here's what I'm listening to. You can go all day listening to that and do anything you want. Right? So I want to get off of the rails here. That is the entire goal of all of my metronome sessions, which is virtually 98% of my channel right now. I want to subvert what's happening on the metronome. I want to get underneath it. I want to get between beats. I want to do things that are extremely, I guess, awkward based on what I'm hearing here. And the more you try to mix up the game on that, the more interesting things become. All right, so I'm gonna do a little session on 80 beats per minute with all of these bad boys on, 1 E and All right, here we go. I'm gonna keep it simple with just the hi-hat and the snare and the kick. Alright, so what you see there is that once I get down into those subdivisions and ignore the quarter note, you sort of gain a freedom to just flex anything you want to do based on just that. And when you pair that up with the quarter note in time, it just releases a whole bunch of funky grooves. Alright, check it out. Let's go a little further. Let's add some more instruments into it, and let's rock. So the limit there is only your creativity and your imagination. You can do anything you want, any time signature you want, any metric. It doesn't really matter as long as you're focused on those subdivisions. And the more that you try this, you actually start to go in between the subdivisions. And there's a couple shorts on my channel about going in between the beeps, and you can find them if you check it out. So let's stay on 80. I'm going to get creative for a minute, and we'll see where it goes. Alright, so right there is a perfect example. If you flex in and out of this and you still can feel where that quarter note is, you have all the ability to land a solid 2 and 4 backbeat on any partial. You can be on the E playing on the E. I'm going to use my boy Jeffy. The E, 1 E and right? This is the one that you can land on this and be playing a 2-4 based on that being the quarter note. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flex in and out of the 4-4 using a little bit of asymmetry to move the beat around, and focusing on those inner beats, be able to just do whatever I want and place the rhythm anywhere, which causes all kinds of funk. It's so fun. Here we go. so right there, I had a 2 and 4 backbeat on the E, I think it was. I mean, it might have been the So that's the method for the metronome sessions, right? And my normal mode of operand, my normal modus of operation, modus operandi, yeah. My normal mode of operation is to record a long, 20, 30-minute session of just goofing off with this technique, and then you can I capture little shorts with it. So every short that you see on my channel is just little pockets of where something felt good to me. Isolate that and make a short with it, right? But I do have these 15, 20-minute sessions where I'm just goofing off with my metronome, changing tempos, messing with the metrics, and then coming up with whatever my body is feeling in that moment. So let's do that, right? Let's play around with this, and let's make it a little harder by taking out the E's and the U's. Right? We're going from this 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a to 1 and 2 and. And we're going to try to still reproduce the 16th note vibe without having it, right? And that's a strength that you gain by doing this a lot. Here we go. 1 and 2 and with 80 beats per minute. And then when you make an egregious mistake like hitting your felt and some hardware instead of the bell, you just stop, right? So let's do this. Let's take it even slower, right? Let's go down to, I don't know, 50 beats per minute with just the eighth notes on, right? I don't know if the camera's going to focus on that or not. Let's see what happens. 50 beats with eighth notes only. And then what we're going to try to do is just get as complex and as hairy as possible and as shifted as possible with this as someone scatting on the side. Right, so sometimes I just sit here and feel this thing for a second. And sometimes when I'm sitting here doing this, a little bit of groove will just present itself to me, and I try to write on that. Right, so right away I can come up with I feel like I can get in here with a dotted, which here would be a dotted 16th note, I think, or dotted 8th note, one of the two. It's dotted, it's got 3, it's asymmetric, and it gets me off the rails right out of the gate. Bunch of that was really fast, and once you get down in between the beeps, it's very, very difficult to not rush, right? We can hang on these beeps all day and play eighth notes all day, but as soon as you start rushing in between the beats, it's over, right? So the key to this, and what I want to do in the metronome sessions, and what I've been trying to do, is to rely less and less on the inner beats of the metronome and create more and more of them with my own rhythm. And the more you do that, the more you become like a human metronome. The problem I'm experiencing, which is the problem that most drummers have, is I just rush everything. I just want to go after the, I just want to have energy. I start, I can't stand the air between the notes because all I want to do is play notes. And I start crushing that space down and I start putting notes earlier than they should be, right? So use the metronome as much as you need it to guide you tempo-wise. Then begin to take out the crutches, get rid of the subdivisions, and begin to create those yourself and be more creative with them, right? So I might play some 50 here and just fade out, or maybe I just start the 50 and turn it off and go freestyle. I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for all you subscribers. We're sitting at like 400 something. This is going extremely fast. I didn't expect so many of you to subscribe, and I'm very, very grateful for those of you that have, and those of you that are following the metronome sessions and all these goofy shorts that I create on the channel. So I wanted to put this video on here so that you guys can understand what I'm trying to do with the metronome. I've had some commentary from some people on the line that are telling me I shouldn't need this, or maybe I shouldn't be playing with it as much. But the goal of the metronome sessions is to use this as a creative device, and that is what appeals to me the most about it, right? Because I listened to the Met on a big loud horn for years, especially with this group, right? Just beeping, 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 and I know how to play with the Met. It's not something I need, right? This thing can disappear, and I feel all these grooves anyway. But to use it as a musical instrument is a whole nother ball game for me. The high and the low pitch beeps, and to let your beats navigate around those, that is what the metronome session is about. And I really hope you guys all enjoy it. I hope you try it, because for me it just unlocked all kinds of new beats that I didn't even know I could play. All right, so I'm gonna jam for a little bit on 50 beats per minute, and we'll see where it goes. And thank you guys all so much. Let's do it. Oh, you're kidding me. The battery's gonna run out? All right, well, oh, dang it. All right, listen, my battery straight ran out, so I gotta do something creative. Here we go.